Hi everyone, it's Christy. Welcome back. Last time we left off, I hesitated to put this comic in because I wanted to double check where it goes, and I did decide to put it at Numbers chapter 10, verse 12. This is where the Israelites resumed their journey after Mount Sinai. And the comic says it's Moses' mom, saying, "Remember to look both ways before crossing the desert." And just in case you had never really connected this, Moses received the Ten Commandments at Mount Sinai in Exodus 20, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, all the way to Numbers chapter 10 before they move on from Mount Sinai. So they've been there through a good part of Exodus, Leviticus, all of Leviticus, and a part of Numbers. And it says that they were actually there for 2 years before they moved on. In the second year after Israel's departure from Egypt, 2 years after, it'd been more than 2 years. It says in the second year. So, anyway, just thought I'd point that little detail out and bring some resolution as to where I put that after the last time. So I'm going to continue on. Let's finish up my Old Testament comics here. This one is Why Study the Book of Numbers. 36 chapters of self-centered people who whined every time they didn't get their way. Give us something relevant. Okay, that kind of strikes close to home. All the whining and complaining that tends to be kind of the normal fare for our society right now. Okay, so this is Why Study the Book of Numbers. I think I want to put this at the very beginning of the Book of Numbers, or close to it. I have this in the way. I'll just put it in after that. So I'm going to put it basically at Numbers chapter 3. It's not relevant to a specific verse, so I have some flexibility. Actually, let me just check. What does it look like at the end of Numbers? Okay. I was looking to see if there was maybe a half page or something that would be a good space. I'm going to stick with this plan. We'll stick at Numbers 3. This is actually, I'll probably take my colored pencils and color this comic up a little bit, since it's just a black and white line drawing. Okay, and then back to my bin of washi tape to pick something here. And I'm going to just try and use this one up next. I emptied one on the last video. And again, I apologize that the air conditioning is running, but it's triple digits, and so you're just going to have to bear with me on that. A lot of times I will try to remember to shut that off before I record, but not when it's triple digits, okay? I know it's loud, but it doesn't last horribly long. Okay. Let's put this closer to the top. I tend to get a lot of them toward the bottom. I need to put more of them at the top to help balance out the thickness. Otherwise, the bottom of my Bible will be really thick and the top will be half as much. Okay, so got that one in. Next up, this one, I flagged some of these with where to put them. This one is Numbers chapter 14. And when are we going to get there? I have to pee. Are we there yet? They're all getting on Moses' nerves. And chapter 14 is the people rebelling. I'm just seeing, chapter 14 is kind of a long one here. Alright, we'll put it at the beginning here. Oops. Throwing things on the floor. And there we go. I just like to rub it in with my ruler to make sure it gets well seated down into the... Okay. This one, I also marked this one to go at Numbers 14:33. And it's Moses with his cell phone there. He's checking his GPS. It says, arriving in 40 years? That can't be right. And so verse 33 says, God is speaking, and he says, and your children will be like shepherds wandering in the wilderness for 40 years, and this is the way they will pay for your faithlessness until the last of you lies dead in the wilderness. Alright. I'm going to leave that on the back for a second. Where did there it goes. What are you doing? Are you just watching, or are you doing some Bible stuff or crafting along with me while you watch? I like to do that. I'll watch YouTube videos while I'm doing other things. Yeah, I'm going to put this one up higher. I almost got that too high. Almost went off the top of the... I think it's okay. Let me make sure it's not sticking out. Yeah, it's okay. Somehow that went a little bit crooked. Oh well. And next one, Numbers 33. Oop, too far. Okay, Numbers 33, they're giving, it's a series of instructions of where all they've been. Then they left this place and camped here, and then they went this place and camped there. And it's just a long list of all the places that they made camp. And so the comic says, Moses lost in the desert, year 40. And they're all zigzagging back and forth and recalculating. And Moses says, knock it off. All right. This is one, because the writing goes so close to the edge and I don't have the little extra piece of margin, I'm going to actually tape it on the back side this time. Sometimes I forget that I can do that, and I'll work too hard to get the tape to fit on the front side, and then not even think about, oh yeah, I can tape it on the back. So used to doing it one way that I forget sometimes, but I remembered this time that since the writing is close to the edge, let me tape it the other direction. These small ones, I feel like the small ones should go up higher. Okay. Okay, now we're going to go back to Exodus. I had finished off with that. I started where I left off last time, but I do have a few more to wrap up in Exodus here. Exodus 14:11. Exodus 14 is a busy chapter. but it'll work here because verse 11 is down at the bottom of this page. So, okay. So a bunch of people talking to Moses. Moses, we think you're making too much of our complaining. We haven't griped much. I mean, other than in Exodus 5:20, 14:11, 15:24, 16:3, 17:2 and 3, and 32:1. Moses replies, "You're forgetting about Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy." Okay. Again, I'm going to tape it on the back because this one, I didn't leave myself any margin on the front. Whoops. Oh, that looks like just enough. Just enough. Finished that roll. That was just exactly enough. Okay. What did I say? 14:11? That's going to be down here, so I'll put it down here. And some of these I need to start remembering. I need to leave these little post-its on so that I can go back, and I was going to mark that verse to highlight that verse goes with this comic. So I was forgetting to do that yesterday. I was just pulling them all off, and then later I realized, oh, I should have left those on a little bit longer. Okay, Exodus 20. This is the 10 Commandments one. Okay, Exodus 20 is when Moses receives the 10 Commandments, and here he is holding the 10 Commandments. He says to God, I think they'd go over better as a meme. Okay, finished off a roll. Now what do I want to use? How about... Not sure what to do. We'll go with just some wildflowers. Let me see if I find... There it is. And that's a little bit crooked. Okay, Christy. Third try is a charm here. First one was crooked. Second time I didn't leave myself enough to stick. There. I'm going to call that good enough. A little bit crooked, but it's okay. Better than it was. Genesis 31:18. Says, when the Lord finished speaking with Moses on Mount Sinai, he gave them the 2 stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant written by the finger of God. Okay, and so I've got a couple. I've got on the back here a small one. Moses looks at the tablets and says, ooh, I like that font. What's it called? And then here's Moses holding the Ten Commandments, and he says, "Neither of these tablets come with apps." Kind of some modern humor imposed on the old Bible context. Okay. Verse 18 is right there. So we'll just maybe put this one kind of in the middle. There we go. All right, moving on. We're going to 1 Kings chapter 11. There we go. And in 11 verse 3, this is talking about Solomon's many wives. And it says he had 700 wives, Solomon had 700 wives of royal birth and 300 concubines. And they did turn his heart away from the Lord. So this is a little one. Sorry, I got to read these a little bit. It's tricky for me to hold where you can see them and also be able to read them at the same time. Although Solomon was the wisest man on the earth, he could not figure an easy solution for having hundreds of mothers-in-law. And this one is going to go in the same place, because it's on the same topic. King Solomon goes card shopping on Valentine's Day, and he's got a card that says, "Be my one and only." He tells the retail clerk, "I've got 700 wives and 300 concubines, so you'd better give me 1,000 of these." Telling each one of them that you're my one and only. That's pretty funny. Okay. So I'm going to put that one there and this one down here, I guess. There we go. And this one. Well, since I taped it on the back of the one at the top of the page, I'll do the same here so they look consistent, I guess. We're almost done. I got one more, I think. But this is actually my favorite one so far. Okay, the verse is 2 Samuel 21:20. There was a man of great stature, and the fingers of his hands were 6, and the toes of his feet were 6. This guy is totally AI, because he has too many fingers. Okay, 2 Samuel. Let me find 2 Samuel. 21, verse 20. Okay. I can tape that on the front. About. You know what? This is a black and white picture. I'm going to add a little pop of color. Let me go with maybe a blue. There it is. Alrighty. Well, that's all the comics I have for the Old Testament at the moment, and so I will call it quits there. I appreciate you hanging out with me for a while, and thanks for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.